What show?
The Whitey Show, the Whitey Show.
Whitey Show.
I'm the review who loves to say son of a bitch. The same review who hates most Nintendo shit. I'm the one who calls games what they are. I even own the 360 and hate Gears of War. Guy who spends his money on games, fucking cards. Just a funny guy who became a YouTube star.
Easily the strongest part of Dragon Age is the story. As you start the game, you pick between 3 different races. Once you're done with that, you travel through the origin of each race, and that can take up to 2 to 3 hours, and that's story content alone. And once you're finished with the origin, we move on to the main story, which is you joining the Grey Wardens to fight the Darkspawn. And while I feel the origin story is a nice intro, it's when you get to here, it turns the game into an amazing epic storyline with politics, with betrayal, with lust, with sex, with violence, everything you can think of. This game provides in the main storyline. You're just going to love it with all the twists and turns. And the overall effect, of course, is that the voice acting doesn't completely suck. So you have a very nice story told by mostly all good voice actings. There's 1 or 2 bad ones here and there. But overall, the story is just an epic storyline that you're going to get involved with. And you're going to get to know the party members you travel with and feel like you're an actual group. Not to mention, you get to actually pick choices and conversations. And thus makes the replayability absolutely skyrocket. And the choices aren't just good and bad. I mean, those are present, but you also have very great choices, such as thinking about yourself or thinking of others, or just making your party members happy. And all these choices will make you think of the right choice or the wrong choice when you want to play an evil motherfucker. So you getting to choose what you say for your character is just kick-ass. And once again, this proves that Bioware just comes through on the story and actually gives a shit about the story and its characters. Okay, here comes the big beef. The graphics. Do they suck? I don't believe so. Are they the best? No. Do they feel as even good as Mass Effect? Well, this is the thing. Mass Effect went for a shiny, very nice, bright looking game. This is more of a dark medieval setting, so it does feel a little darker. The graphics are a little grittier, and that makes it look a little uglier. However, I don't think the graphics are bad, but I can see people complaining, and no, they're not on par with the newer games, no. But at the same time, the scope it gives you, not a lot of games provide. The games provide like 1/10 of what this game does. Not to mention that the design overall is very, very good in my opinion. It really gives that gritty, dark, violent feel of this dark, mysterious medieval world with dragons, orcs, and all these evil creatures, and of course the kick-ass knight designs. I mean, overall, the design is amazing, and thus I give the graphics a pretty good score. But I won't lie, the environments aren't amazing, and the facial expressions and emotions are missing from Mass Effect. But overall, if you dig the design, you're gonna love this game, and the graphics will just meld into your mind as good enough, but everything else draws you in. The hardest thing to do is the gameplay in RPGs, just because I won't be able to cover everything, but I'll cover the basic battle system and some other stuff. The battle system works like this. You click A to engage in battle. I'm talking about warrior here. And thus you will run over to the guy and slash the shit out of him. You can watch your guy slash the crap out of a Darkspawn for a few seconds, or you can just go on to pick a move to hit the Darkspawn with. And you'll gain various moves throughout the game, but the moves offer special attacks such as bashing an enemy with a shield if you have a sword and shield, or with a two-handed weapon swinging very violently and trying to cut off their head. And there's a ton of different moves to offer for all the different types of classes in the game. The closest battle system I can think of that does this game kind of is Knights of the Old Republic, another Bioware game. It kind of feels like that, but for me it felt a little more actiony in this. And you will have to stay on your feet and look at your party members a lot more than you did in Knights of the Old Republic. Also, in this game you have a party of 4, so switching between these 4 characters is very vital, especially in the boss battles and harder battles. So you'll switch between all these characters to use different types of moves in different situations, and it's almost vital that you'll have to use a bunch of different skills or command them to at least do them to beat most of the fights, because leaving it up to the AI isn't the best idea. I'm not saying the AI is terrible, but in a boss battle you want to input the moves, and this game allows you to do so. I have to say the best thing about the gameplay, besides the flow of the battle and how easy it is to get into, is that each class gives you different things to offer. I love using dual-wielding weapons, I love using archery, I love using magic, and I love using sword and shield, because they all give you a different feel for a different enemy, and it's just a great way of mixing up the gameplay so you come back for more. And of course you can level up your characters throughout the game. This is an RPG, and doing that will help you a lot in battle. You'll first put little skill points into different things such as strength, concentration, and other skill points, which will make your character totally different from another one. After doing that, you'll put a point into a skill you will learn to use, such as a passive skill or one you activate to damage an enemy, and that will create a totally different character every time you play. It's basically a skill tree, which means that you'll have a whole different moveset from one character who uses two-handed weapons to one that uses one-handed weapons. So it's a great way of making it replayability, and basically lets you make a very customizable character. I don't really have too many complaints. If I had to complain about two things about the gameplay, one would be that the skill list of using moves in battle is a little clusterfucked, only because you're trying to go through all the different moves to find the one you want to use. It would just be easier to have a hotkey, but that's impossible on the 360 or PS3 version. However, if you have a PC version, that will save you from this annoying thing when you're fighting a boss battle and you're worrying you're not using the right move as a mage. And the only other thing I really gotta complain about is there's a few glitches here and there, such as the enemies taking a while to register after you kill them, and sometimes you have to restart or autosave just because you got stuck or something like that. Though I have noticed if you install it on your Xbox 360s, this won't happen as much, but it can affect people's gameplay if it does happen a few times. Let me make it clear that I love Dragon Age, and once again, to me, Bioware has delivered. But just so you know, the story here is very heavy, and you will talk about 60 to 70% of the time, and then fight the rest, or at least explore. Not to say the fighting isn't present, because it will, and sometimes it goes on for an hour or two, but the talking here is the biggest thing, and that's good because the story is so gripping, and it's such an amazing dark fantasy tale that you're going to get right into it. And I think, because I love A Song of Ice and Fire, that I really love the tale that this game brings to you. With tons of side quests, with at least 40-hour main quests, you're going to have a ton to do. This game is definitely what they call getting your money's worth game.
No, just trying to picture his little elf head squishing. Ah, there we go.
Not to mention, starting an origin of every character is always tempting after you play your main one for a few hours, so that always brings replayability, and doing it over again in a few months is always another option for you. I won't lie, this game is only for certain people. I can see people not liking it simply because the action is action RPG style and not just straight on action. I also can see people not liking the heavy story because it's not their thing. However, if you're into this medieval, dark fantasy type of stuff with violence, sex, and just about anything you can think of, this game tries to deliver. And hell, even the music in this game is well done, and especially the title screen has a great song to go along with this epic feel of fantasy. So go on, enjoy, go kill a bunch of darkspawn, shove your sword into an ogre's head, and then go talk to people for 2 or 3 hours. That's what Dragon Age is all about.